Developing tonight, many wetlands across the country just lost federal protection from polluters.
That's right. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court rolled back safeguards for particular wetlands that have been in place for decades. Jessica Clark is on your side explaining how this decision impacts swamps and marshes in our area.
Florida's waterways are pretty much at stake here.
Jen Lomberg is the Matanzas riverkeeper in St. Johns County. For weeks, she and riverkeepers and conservation groups across the country have been watching to see how the U.S. Supreme Court would rule in a case involving wetlands and how much power the Environmental Protection Agency has when it comes to protecting them.
We have a lot of wetlands in Florida. There's a lot of swamps and marshes, and a lot of people kind of think of wetlands as garbage land. But wetlands provide very real ecosystem services to our communities. They store floodwater, they filter out pollutants, they provide habitat.
Thursday, the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 ruling, determined that wetlands, which do not connect to other larger bodies of water, are no longer protected under the Clean Water Act.
The Clean Water Act was adopted over 50 years ago in 1972.
And it has some of the highest water protections. So, for example, a developer or landowner wants to fill in an isolated marsh in order to build a home or neighborhood. After Thursday's Supreme Court ruling, that developer or landowner will no longer need a federal permit and can
could just fill in that wetlands without any regard to the environmental repercussions of destroying that ecosystem.
That's because the Supreme Court has now ruled that isolated marshes or swamps no longer are federally protected. Some call this a win for private property owners and the economy. Associated General Contractors of America says the decision will allow vital infrastructure and development projects to proceed in a timely manner. Others are very concerned about the negative ecological impacts. Aaron Brockovich, a paralegal and environmental activist, had such strong words about the ruling, we cannot show them on air. And the Matanzas riverkeeper?
As we keep dumping more pollution into our waterways, those waterways will be less resilient to remediate and absorb that pollution and bounce back.
Jessica Clark, First Coast News, on your side.